everybody, this is Pretty Petticoat Sewing and I'm Michelle. Hi, I don't know where to look. My camera is not set up the way I usually have it set up. I am on my floor in my sewing room. It has been a month and a half since I have uploaded a video and I sincerely apologize for that. I'm in the midst of buying a house, so it's been a little bit crazy around here. But to make up for it, I hope I'm going to get this out and maybe another one in the next few weeks as well. So wish me luck. I'm gonna be doing so much it won't even be funny. But when we last met, I believe we were putting together the bodice and we were going to get to the skirts next, which is what I'm working on now. So off screen, I sewed the side seams. This is just, this is the skirt pattern. So there's a little curvature at the top, but not a lot. But for the other skirt, the overskirt, which I'm just gonna pull over here, you can see it's made out of this fabric. This is, you can't see her, but this is Clara. Bess is holding on to the other skirt over here, but it's going to be underneath this sheer fabric. But before I do that, I'll push her out of the way. Before I do that, I wanted to put in these beautiful gold lace doodads. I don't know what I want to call them. They're not really appliques, but so I'm just going to do some rough stitching. I actually laid it out and pinned it so that it flowed from the center down and over to the side. And I'm just going to start whip stitching this into place. You can start really wherever you are most comfortable. I'm going to start with this one over here just because it's the one on the far left. And of course you can't see it because it's not quite high enough. So let me push this back. So I'm just going to start right here. And all you have to do is just some pretty rough stitching. You just need to stitch it down. And also this doesn't have to be, well, for one thing, it doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be hidden underneath that. But also it doesn't have to have a lot of extra stitching. Just a couple of whip stitches around this will be fine. And the reason I say that is because we are also going to put some sequins and beads on here. So I'm just going to give it a couple of real quick stitches to get it sort of in the, held on so that I can remove these pins, which I've already stabbed myself with twice. So typical me. All right, and you want to be pretty careful when you're doing it this way too, because I'm about to lose the pin out of the top, which is never gonna be good. Okay, because you don't want to accidentally tack it into place crooked or bunched up or anything. So just make sure you're keeping it nice and flat as you're going along, especially if you have it hanging off a dress form. And like I said, I'm just going to do a couple of tack stitches. I'm going to keep them small and pretty close to the design anyway, just to make sure that they don't, stick out like a sore thumb anywhere. But again, this is all going to be hidden behind behind that chiffon. And I say hidden, it's not going to be hidden. You're going to be able to see through to see this, and it's going to have a really lovely, sort of shaded effect, I guess. So I'm just going to, again, I just want to whip stitch around the edges of this. You want to, don't just do it in the middle, because you want to make sure that the edges are also being held down. But again, this is all going to be underneath, so it does not have to be perfection. It just needs to be stitched down. I'm going to do one up here. So I've done 4 stitches now, and I'm just going to do another one up here. 2. And also make sure you're not pulling your stitches too tight and causing this to bunch up as well. You definitely have to have a little dexterity to try and do this with this fabric because it likes to wobble around quite a bit. So I am just trying to keep it, I'm trying to keep it straight and not yank the needle out every time I move my hand, which is not working as well as I'd like. Okay, so again, make sure you're not making it bunch up. You're not pulling it too tight, which is super easy to do. You can also do little knots in between each of these on the back side so that you don't have to, you know, so that it doesn't pull every single time you pull the thread through. And at first I got a little fussy about the ends of these because they're sort of raw. I think you can see that right there. They're sort of just raw ends. But then I decided that, again, it's going to be hidden underneath my chiffon, and it is going to be covered with sequins and not buttons, sequins and beads. So I'm not going to stress super bad over that particular part because drops my pin. It's a good thing that I saw where it landed. Of course, the trick then is to be able to pick it up with long nails, but I'm going to keep these all right here. Okay. So yeah, so because it's going to be hidden underneath, I think that it's going to work out really, really just fine. So and you have to be careful when you're working with this underneath because it will try its hardest to make you crazy. This is a very slippery fabric. Not the kind of thing that I usually like working with. I'm not really fond of slippery fabrics, but it just suited the project. So if it suits the project, I'm probably going to use it, you know. So there's that piece. And again, it's so easy to pull this stupid thing a little too tight. So, you know, just keep adjusting as you go to make sure that your stitches in the back are flat, but you're not bulked up anywhere. It's not as easy as it looks. Okay. And if you can find a way to do this not on your dress form, I would highly recommend that because it's probably less traumatizing. But whatever way works for you is really the best way to do it. So then we're just, like I said, I'm just going around the perimeter and I'm dropping the needle every once in a while, just giving it a quick tug to make sure everything is staying flat because I don't want it to get bunched up. And I'm only going to do one flower per piece of thread. So I'm not going to have flowers attached to each other. That's just asking for more trouble than I would like. So, but there you have it. It took about, I'm going to say about 10 stitches to get all the way around this flower. It's tacked down just enough. It's not going to be in danger of dragging on the ground because they're all much higher than the hemline. And I'm just going to tie this off on the back. And I'm going to do that for each one of these flowers. I'm just going to cut this real quick. And whatever you do, make sure you don't cut your dress when you're doing that. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing that I did here. This is now completely done and all of the pins are out. That was the last one. So that's tacked down. And as you can see, now that I've got my pins out, this little corner right here is flopping down. So I'm going to put one more stitch right up there to hold it in place. And you can see how this is very rough cut around this edge. And again, I would like to point out that it's going to be underneath the chiffon. So let me give you an idea of what that's going to look like. There's a lot of this chiffon, so bear with me for a moment. But if you can just imagine, so this is the one I just did, and if I can get the chiffon to come out here, stop dragging. This is the chiffon that's going to hang over it, just one layer, just like that. So as you can as you can kind of see, if it stops moving around for just a moment, you're going to have one layer of chiffon over that, and it's going to have sequins and beads in there. So it's going to be very sort of sparkly and very, very shadowed at the same time. So that is what we are doing with this. Now I'm just going to take a moment to push Bess out of the way, and we're going to turn Clara so you can see her, and I'm just going to lift the camera so that you can see how we're coming along with our dress. It's looking very nice. The next video we're going to do is going to be the blouse that's going to go under this, so we'll have that sort of started. When we do the video shortly, either when the next video comes out or shortly after, this dress right here will be finished and underneath this dress, so we will be able to work with that, and you'll see a little bit fuller how this costume is happening. So if you have any questions or comments, drop them below. Again, I'm super sorry that it's been so long since I posted a video, but I'm buying a house, so I've been a little stressed, but I'm back, and hopefully I can get another video out in the next little while. So again, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I know I'm crooked. Let me just come back here. This is my face. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Hit subscribe if you want to see what happens next. Check out my first 3 videos. They are in the playlist on my channel here. And there's also another extra video if you want to watch it for putting in grommets, which we are going to be doing again when we finish this dress, both on the back and on the gauntlets on the sleeves. So there is going to be quite a bit of grommeting in our near future. If you want to get sort of an idea of how I do that ahead of time, there is a video on how to do that as well. So thank you so much for joining me. Wish me luck on the next steps, and have a good day. Bye.